Face it, there's only two ways to survive today. Either you severely cut back or you increase your income. Which way do you think you should turn? Going to talk about this with Steve Young, 74, back in a minute. Hey, Steve, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here. In case you've never heard of Steve, Steve Young 74 channel is the channel name, but this is Steve Young himself. Thank you so much for being here. Steve offers a lot of very helpful information with financials, but not only financials. He has Recipe Tuesday. He talks about other subjects in general too. So just to let you know, just that. Steve, I'm going to ask you, you do have an interest in earning more cash sometimes or offering some good suggestions for folks that really kind of sort of need to make a little bit extra money. Many people make up excuses like, oh, I don't have the time, this and that. But I don't know about you, but I tend to think that if you list something for sale, you could still get to do other things while that item is listed. Am I right or am I right?
You can. If you go on the internet, and no, I'm not talking about eBay. That's a whole other story. Craigslist, OfferUp, Let Go. That's just three to mention. You can go on there a lot of the time. I know Craigslist is definitely this way. You can go on there and list an item or items that you want to sell. And once they're on there, you can be doing other things. All you've got to do is just answer emails. Or if you are brave enough to put your phone number down, which I know a lot of people are not, people can call you. And, that way you can go ahead and set up, a time and a meeting. And here's where uh, this is where I say, if at all possible, do not meet the person, don't have them come to your house.
No.
Like I mentioned in a previous video that I did, meet at a halfway point. You don't want people to really see your home because that all it takes is one set of eyeballs, and that person can tell another person, and that person can tell another person, and then you can go off on a vacation or step out for the day, a full day, come back home, and your house get cleaned out.
Oh,
So,
heaven forbid.
so
But you
don't
know something always bears worth repeating, and I'm glad you actually mentioned this, Steve. It's really good.
Yeah, I've been a victim of a robbery one. All it takes is one. And I will go ahead and say it because there really is no other way to say it. If you've never been a victim of a robbery, consider yourself blessed. What it does make your home feel like, because your home will be turned upside down, it'll be in shambles. It really takes the feel of home sweet home out of your home. It really makes your home feel like it's been raped. I hate to use that term, but I don't know of any other word to describe when a home gets broken into or invaded.
Yeah. No, safety first. Definitely safety before anything. Safety becomes more important than any dollar amount. But you know what? Getting back to dollar amounts for a minute, Steve, in my opinion, and I come across a lot of comments and things in my life experience being 63 and a half. I believe that many times people come up with a lot of excuses. And like I just mentioned about the I don't have the time. How long does it actually take to list an item? In many cases, it's kind of like a set it and but not forget it too long. But you do have to check on it. But you could still cook your dinner, make a phone call, go back to it and check. Today is a different world. People years ago, Steve used to have to knock on doors, door to door salesman. Remember that? People literally had to do that. We don't have to do that anymore. So, in my opinion, there's really no excuse. we can sell.
Anybody can sell. If you can take a picture or pictures, if you can describe something, type it out, write it, and then type it out, you can run it and have an idea of what something sells for. You can sell just about anything.
So
But
true.
if you don't know what something sells for, I hate to mention this, but this is what I do. Go back to eBay, type in what you're looking for. Go down and look for completed items. Tap on that. That will give you a rundown of what that item sold for on eBay over a certain, it'll give you the time or the month, day, and year. It'll give you the breakdown of, when that item sold. Going through that completed item list, that will give you an idea of how much to go ahead and sell your item for. That's if you don't know.
That is so brilliant, Steve, because keep in mind, again, alluding back to the olden days, people didn't have that basis of comparison. All a person has to do today is very good that you brought that up. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Tap, tap, check, and compare. How easy is that? I mean, really?
Yeah, I mean, even if I do know a ballpark figure of an item of what it sells for, I'll go back to eBay completed items just to double check to make sure that I'm on the same page. So I will do that. That's really the only thing I use eBay for anymore. Now, I will buy items off of eBay, but as far as selling, no, those days are over with. There's too many hoops that they want you to jump through. They ask for too much personal information that I will not give. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as you know, I used to be an eBay seller too many years ago. I was a power seller. I did make some really, really great sales, as you know, over
Mhm.
400 sales at one point. But today, it's another day. It's another rodeo from when you and I first started at the same time. Steve, I have a question about an item. Now, here's a terminology that some people are not used to: real to real. First of all, Steve, can you please describe for the folks real, what is actually a real to real sales, and can they be profitable?
Yes, they can. If you don't know what a reel to reel is, it's a tape recorder that uses reels that you slide on and you hold it in place and you thread it. And it was made to record audio to where back in the day people would record their vinyl and, where they would have, you know, hours of music without having to go and flip the record and take the record and put it back in the sleeve and then pull out another one and put it on the turntable. It was a way for a person to have, hours of music of enjoyment. Um, People wonder, what do they sound like? Well, every time you listen to an old album or music from yesteryear, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, even before that, 40s, all of the music that we all like to listen to, well, now not so much. Everything's done digitally. But back in the olden days, all of your music that you listened to was on a reel to reel tape. Now, depending on what model you have, reel to reel decks, some of them are worth quite a bit of money,
Wow.
in the thousands.
Wow.
Um, Example, I'll just mention, as you heard that I mentioned in the last video I did, I have three. I've got a black Akai GX747. The silver is more common than the black. The black is harder to come by. That makes it more the rarer. It's auto reverse and it's got the LED VU meters. I mean, it's, you know,
Amazing.
top of the line. That's one of them. The other one I have is an Akai GX625. It's a silver unit. It doesn't have the auto reverse feature. You have to take the tape off and flip it. That one belonged to my father. That one would be one that I would consider holding on to. Um, that one I do have the remote and the original packaging in the box that it came in. Then I have another unit called a TAC X2000M. It uses half the tape left channel, half the tape right. That was what was used years ago to mix down your albums in the studio, which gives you a little bit better sound quality. It has 7.5 inches per second, 15 inches per second, which gives you a much, much, much better sound quality.
Wow.
Um, these units are all top of the line. I also have the box and packing for it, and I also have the remote for it. So, would I ever consider? I know I said I should consider selling them. It would be hard for me to part ways. Not the one that my father bought, which is, if you looked at it, you would think you went out 3 hours ago and bought it. But it would be hard for me to part ways with them. They do work. They need to be serviced, but they are hard to come by. And the prices that I paid to purchase them, if I were to go out and try to buy it at the price that I paid for them, not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's going to be 4 or 5 times what I paid for them. So they can be profitable. Absolutely. It depends on the model number that you have.
Wow, that is so cool. Oh my word. Steve, I have to ask you this. I noticed a vintage car. Like if you head over to the Steve Young 74 channel, which I really hope you do, yes, his Recipe Tuesday show and a lot more, you will notice in the upper right hand corner of Steve's logo a car. I noticed a vintage car on your logo. Why are you into this? Just curious.
Well, for one, the car in that picture is a 1958 Cadillac Fleetwood 60 Special, which is a top of the line car back in 58. I like vintage cars because the build quality, they just look pretty, they look nice. You know,
They sure do.
they're you raise the hood, you look down, the consumer can still repair it. Whereas today, you almost have to be a contortionist to repair your car and have to be ASE certified. They say you got to go through school now in order to learn how to work on a car. But
Wow.
just in general, it's just easier to work on a car. Now, I will say this: the cars of today will go much further because you don't have to give it a tune-up as often. Years
Right.
ago, you had to change your points, your condenser, the rotor, everything on the inside of the distributor cap. All that had wires. That all had to be changed every 3 to 5,000 miles. Now, spark plugs. Now you don't have to do that. Cars can go 100,000 miles before any of that has to be done. Oil changes and all that is still your normal 3,000. I think summer. I think now you can go as long as 5,000. I always wait until it's 4,000. But to me, the older cars are just better. Um,
And it's looks so fun. And there are people, as we both know, that have actually sold those, for a living, buy and sell. They're really into buying and selling those. There's got to be a huge profit margin in
there
that.
is.
So, Steve, I have another question for you. Fall is almost upon us. Is there literally enough time for holiday savings? For example, if somebody really just didn't get caught up with thinking about saving for the holidays, which are really, I mean, they're not like tomorrow, but they're not exactly as far away as when we were in the month of May.
No, you can save for the holidays and have money built up. Here's a good one. Revert back to, I'm not saying a reel to reel, but let's say you have an item or items, maybe a couple of things in your home that you want to part ways with, that between it alone or say a couple of things you would sell that might be worth anywhere between $500 and $1,000. If you can build up 500 to 1,000 on one, maybe two sales, you're done. You
That's
don't
right.
you don't have to continue trying to sell. If you can build up a $500 to $1,000, making money on things that you sell, if you and depending on the items and how desirable it is, because you have it listed, um, you're done.
That's amazing. I was watching another channel that was discussing, that person decided to sell a bunch of their stuff, and someone in that person's comment section made a remark like, "Well, I don't have thousands and thousands of valuables to sell." First of all, I want to say something. That is not true. You don't have to have that. And Steve and I both know this because in your case, your parents were sellers too. But I just want to mention this. There was a woman one day did an encouraging show about selling in the past. And one of my subscribers wrote a comment. This is about 2 years back. And she said she didn't have anything to sell, but you know what she did, Steve? She just happened to find a pair of brand new designer jeans in her compactor room in her building or something like that. The tickets were still on it. She made an immediate sale of $50. She sold it on one of those freebie listings, didn't cost her a fee, cost her nothing. The person picked it up. The person paid her light bill with it effectively. So you don't have to have, I don't want to hear the I don't have the things in my house excuse. You have things around you. People can look for them.
Well, coming back to the flea market, yes, mom and dad sold. I also sold as well. Um, I would go with them when they would both go. And if one of them, a lot of the time it was my mom that wouldn't go, I would go and fill in her shoes. And it would be me and my dad. Um, but I've known how to buy and sell things. I've been doing it since I was an early teenager. I'm very well versed in it. I do know customer service skills very, very well. People think, oh, customer service, that's not a hard job. That's easy. That's Customer service is one of the hardest jobs out there.
Heck
Think about
yeah.
if you have somebody come up to your table or even in the workplace, not everybody's going to have a smile. You're going to have some dissatisfied people. You have to know a lot of the time how to control your cool. If you don't, you know, I definitely had to learn that. Not really the hard way. I mean, yes, I do. You would never think it. Oh, Steve. Oh, he's such a nice guy. I don't picture him as having a temper. Yeah, I do have one. I don't like my temper, but I have one. And I've had some people along the way get under my skin. And what I had to do is I had to learn to adapt. You have to be careful when you buy, not when you buy, I didn't mean to say that, but when you go to sell, you're always going to have low ballers in the equation. I don't like a low baller. I want somebody to give me an offer that is reasonable, but don't come in way too low. I'll
They
laugh.
insult the seller. It's like insulting the
It
seller
is
almost.
insulting the seller. Not that I try to be this way, but I have been known to laugh at a couple of people. Not that I'm trying to come off as, oh, this is a different side of Steve. Yeah, but do keep in mind if you're selling an item and you know it's worth, and you have somebody give you pennies on the dollar for it, Who wouldn't laugh at somebody? Or yeah, sure, in your
Agreed.
dreams. Oh no, I've been known to say that. Um, you know, I said you're going to have to do better than that if you want my item.
Yeah.
Or I'll just go, Psh, yeah, okay. Well, I've done that too. Oh, believe me, in the 12 years or so that I've done the buying and selling, not just in the flea market, but also, you know, in an old paper that used to be local that's no more because internet sales have taken over. I've even had people on eBay back when it was, the rules were different, that I've had to write in an email and say, I said, I've got more than that tied up in it. I said, sure, I'll sell you like on a reel to reel. I've had that up for sale on eBay in the past. It takes a hub adapter to play a larger reel. A metal reel takes an adapter you have to slide up to where the big reel will slide on. I said, yeah. I said, sure, I'll take your offer. I said, I'll sell you one hub adapter for that. Oh no, I've learned along the way how to deal with these people. I'm a little bit hard charactered with the ones that like to be,
Right.
you
You
know.
have to grow a bit of a thick skin. I mean, no matter what you do in life, whether you're, a solopreneur, I'm a solopreneur.
Yeah.
I consider myself an edutainer. I could, like, on my morning shows, I like to, talk about certain topics and provide a little entertainment value. So I consider myself an edutainer more than anything. But you have to grow a little bit of a thick skin no matter what platform you work with.
That's right.
Because in life, right? Because in life, you just don't know. Hey, listen, Steve, there's something I'm going to ask the folks to do for me. So
Okay.
don't go away, Steve. Be right back.
All right.
Whoa. Thank you so much. I'm asking everybody who's watching, if you got any value from this video, please smash down the like button. It helps elevate the algorithm so more people could see these videos. So you're helping other people. Thank you so very much. Steve, is there anything else you want to add before we go today?
Not really. I pretty much
Okay.
just now before you went into that um, little outro, intro, whatever it was. I pretty much summed up what I had to say. I don't think I could have said it any better, but that.
Great job as always. Please head on over to the Steve Young 74 channel for Recipe Tuesday. When? On Tuesdays, 6 a.m. Eastern. Also on Thursday afternoons at 4 o'clock, random topics. On Saturdays at, in the afternoon about 1:30-ish. Again, many times I myself go on his show. Love to do it. We always have a lot of fun. But you know what? We're going to do one more thing before we wave and say goodbye. Be right back. Take care, everybody. Thanks again, Steve. Everybody have a great day. Get over to Steve's channel. Bye-bye.
Bye.